Michael, and welcome to my studio. I am going to analyze the Birth of Venus, the composition principles, and the form and meaning within this painting masterpiece by Sandro Botticelli in the Uffizi Gallery in Florence. And I have seen this twice. I've been to Florence, Italy, and this truly is a masterpiece. It's massive, but we are going to discuss it on a computer screen. Let's get into it. What is kind of the essence of the meaning going on in this work? That's kind of the first question I ask when I look at any artwork. And part of that is understanding the cultural context. So this painting was created in the Renaissance, which means rebirth. The Renaissance was by and large a universe which was ordered, a world which was intelligently understood as having meaning, inherent meaning within the created world. It was beautiful, and along with that, the principles of intelligent design, whether the Sandro Botticelli was a secular humanist or part of the Roman Catholic Church, the idea of intelligent design, order, balance, harmony, and rhythm is woven into the fabric of the Renaissance thinking, and the compositions within their paintings embody these principles, along with the mystery of life, the mystery of the cosmos, birth, and myth-making. Let's delve into a little bit of how those principles are embodied formally. This, you may have seen, is a basic armature of a rectangle, a way of dividing a rectangular space to try to comprehend the divisions, the major subdivisions. And I at first was trying to overlay this and understand a little bit, like maybe some of these long diagonals are repeating in these figures, maybe this primary diagonal is kind of finding its way through here, and there is an element of that along with the idea of rebatment, which is dividing the overall rectangle into a square on one half and then the remaining portion being kind of another composition in and of itself. And there is some repetition of straight lines, which I'm kind of looking for to deconstruct and analyze a composition in the beginning. What was the strategy used by the artist in order to compose this image? And there is an element of that as well. However, I am going to talk a little bit, and in these, along with these principal directions, which are kind of pointing to this central focal point, the birth of Venus, and that of course is the story that Sandro Botticelli is telling here. Before I segue into some other stuff, I am going to talk about this strange word here, the double diatessaron, 9, 12, 16. What in the world does that mean? Charles Bouleau, in his book The Painter's Secret Geometry, discusses some of the principles of mathematics and how they work in the Renaissance. And as the Renaissance was trying to understand the order of the world, they used mathematics to compose their compositions. Basically, you divide the entire composition into sixteenths on the top and the sides. And Bouleau was noticing that this composition, Botticelli is pretty in love with these divisions, which Leon Alberti is one of the main writers about some of these composition principles in the Renaissance. And let's take a look at some of these principal divisions. So there's the 9, the 12, and then these corners are the sixteenths. Let me just show you the main overlay of the grid. So along these major points there are critical landmarks like the edge of this foot, and these junctures create key intersections which the artist used in order to create a balanced, ordered, rational space. These are some of the connection points from the corners up into the ninths over to the 12ths. I didn't draw every single one, but as you can see, the birth of the Venus figure sort of follows this diagonal. This echoes that diagonal. You can kind of go down the line and find individual features like a foot or even a piece of drapery, I will leave you there and you can read Bouleau's book for yourself. I'll leave a link in the description below about some websites that discuss these principles as well. And I'm going to move on from there into some other principles that make this an incredible composition. Simple things such as the balance of the horizontal and the vertical. These create stability amongst all these dynamic diagonals and sweeping rhythmic lines. Botticelli is, of course, using these stabilizing features in order to ground the composition, create solemnity with some of these main contrasts. It's the principle of opposition at work, and I'm going to again go back to this idea of the focal point. A common way of organizing space in any composition is having a primary story to tell, a hierarchy of importance, and of course this is the most important beauty in Sandro's painting. And the main composition lines are all pointing to her face, and you can see these dynamic diagonal thrusts again, balanced by these horizontals and verticals, but the primary movements and energies created by these diagonals are directing us here. There is a sort of radiation going on among these main dynamic thrusts, and if we take this particular figure of the Venus and kind of look at the cascade of line directions down, up, a zigzag sort of pattern, an order, this leading you over there. You can even follow aspects of the embankment leading you on a journey, a pathway of beauty all the way into the background over in these spaces. And that's a little bit what he's trying to communicate. I'll leave you with one more big slide. This is from Harold Speed. He's talking about line rhythm in this masterpiece. So he is sort of diagramming the primary composition lines which flow throughout the entire composition to create this movement of grace, beauty, harmony, eloquence, and I will leave you there at that slide, and thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something, and next time you're in Florence, Italy, go check this painting out at the Uffizi and look for some of these things yourself. Thank you and have a great day.